All right, everyone, welcome to the chat this morning. We want to quickly look at break down some of the pairs. This is USD JPY. We quickly want to look at the direction of this market this moment. Let's go to the daily. Okay, we have to look at the trade from multiple time frame perspectives. Okay. Now, at the daily time frame, let's check off these indicators now. At the daily time frame, we have a clear uptrend on USDJPY. We have a clear uptrend. This is one change of character here: higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Right. So it is clear that this particular pair is on an uptrend, right? So if we're in an uptrend, we're looking at opportunity to buy only. If we get opportunity to sell, we sell out of default, not out of design, which is you are trading against the trend. So the last high that this market did was around here. Okay, this is the last point where it made the last high. So we have a resistance around this zone. That is why you can see price literally was stopped at that point. Let's get some of these things up and running. So we have just a minute. Okay, so that was the resistance at that zone. Then we have another resistance at this zone, where price would not break above. Then we also have a demand zone here where price has been reacting. So right now, the USDJPY is actually in a range. So it's not going to be much of a good move. However, since the market is in an uptrend and it moved from a place of support, it means that we have to start thinking about buying the market. Not a very good setup, okay, because you need to look for markets that are trending very well, breaking highs and lows, and that are not consolidating. At this juncture, USDJPY is consolidating here, and we're looking at the fact that it's going to be breaking to the upside, you know. But we have a very strong resistance right here at 148.996. Okay, let's just call it 149. That's a very strong psychological zone because the institutional traders have a lot of interest at that zone. You can see how price has been reacting very much. So we go to the daily time frame, to the 4 hours, beg your pardon. In the 4-hour time frame, you see that the price has begun to give us an idea that it wants to break out. So you need to watch because we know the market has come to a resistance zone. We know that. However, we also know from top-down analysis that this market is going to be, going to the upside. You can see how it's respecting the 4-hour demand zone here, where price has touched multiple times. So you must take note of some of these multiple touches where price has reacted for a long time. Okay, so this is previous demand turn supply, supply turn demand, so the roles are flipping. So when markets begin to flip roles like this, you know that something it's about to happen. You know what I'm talking about. So, like, in order to get a high probability trade that gives you a higher risk to reward ratio, you have to pay attention to most of the levels that have been tested more than once. In fact, the more a level is tested, the more that level becomes superior in terms of decision making. So this is a ranging market, but it's still a tradable market because all markets that ranges or trends, they have one thing in common. And what they have in common is that they all move from the same point of demand and supply. Yeah. So whether it is trending or it is trading, all of them must come at a point. They must have a common point to rally up or rally down, right? So now, looking at this, I'm not advising, of course, this is for education, this is not for professional advice, right? Just to help you understand how the chart moves and why you should take decision and where decisions should be taken and where should not be taken, you know, trying to bring critical experience to bear. So looking at this trade, it's not the best of trade, but of course, you learn from ranging markets, you know what to do, and from trading markets, you know what to do. Fundamentally, the best markets to trade is a trading market. If a market is not trending, you can only buy the tops and bottom. Do you understand? Okay, so let's go to 1 hour, see what is going there, and see if we can, strategically make a decision. You see, the price has come to this demand zone, tapped into the zone. You see that this zone was tapped into. So it's always good whenever you're expecting price to come to a zone, let price tap into the zone, because sometimes price could tap into the zone and not you know make a move from the zone because it wants to grab liquidity, it wants more participants to come in, it could delay right there at the zone, and a whole lot of things. You know what I'm talking about? Okay, so it is what it is right now, right? Just for education purposes, right? So we have a resistance zone here, just a minor one, just a 1 hour zone. However, we know that the market is moving in an uptrend, and when it moves in an uptrend, it breaks zones. Zones are not an issue, so long as the market structure is critically in the direction where the market wants to go. All right. So if you see a market that is making consistently higher lows, you should not be afraid of some of the zones because the zones will break in order to fulfill the technical structure of the market. Do you understand? However, if the zones are strong, the market will test it. Look at this one. Market tested the zone at 149 because it's a psychological level, and every psychological level is a level you don't joke with. So when price comes here, you don't think the price is going to just start zooming down, right? Start blasting to the downside. It's not possible. It will retest the zone to know if these sellers have strong resolve to hold on to the zone. If they are not strong enough, the market will break it and retest it, and there we go. Right. Okay. So this is what it is. We have a double bottom in 1 hour. That's a reversal signal. So in case you saw this earlier, it's a good opportunity to buy. But you can see there was a liquidity grab here. Look at this. Look at this pin bar. Look at this. Look at this candle. Look at this wick. Right? It quickly pierced into the zone. Now, a lot of people place their stop losses below this zone, and that's why when you get to a zone, you don't get in a hurry to place your trades. Look at this now. This is about 147. This is about close to 20 pip range, right? 20 pip stop loss. So anybody who kept their stop losses around this environment, I mean, they have actually learned a lesson. So don't do that. When it gets to a zone, be patient. So now this market is moving. Let's quickly look at the probability here. I'm not advising you to take this trade. You're just learning. So we're putting our entry at that point, our stop loss just below this zone. Then we're taking this take profit at this point. So that is what we're looking at, right? Because the market is in an uptrend from the higher time frame. From the lower time frame, we have a double bottom, we have a market structure shift, and we have price pushing to the upside. Then we have a fair value gap, if you like, for those that do SMC, what we call it, smart money concept. It's all the same, whether it's SMC, whether it's support and resistance, all of the languages are the same, the only different concepts. You understand? So we have a fair value gap here for those that believe fair value gap. But you know, the fair value gap is just resistance. Look to the left, you'll see how price has been accumulating to a point. So this accumulation is just to tell you that something is about possibly going to happen here. So if you are taking this trade, you should be expecting a reaction, opposite reaction from the market participant at this zone. So you put in your take profit within this fair value gap here, or this resistance, you know what I'm talking about. This support, because when support is broken, it becomes resistance, right? So that is what it is. Okay, now, so if you looking at this, is just education. So if you watch it, you can make your decision. Stop loss is best here, but sometimes people can put their stop loss here, and you can see it's too wide, even though it is not unadvisable, because sometimes the market can be crazy, you know. All right, so that is what we have for now. But we're expecting this market to move as high as this zone here, right? We're expecting this market to move as high as this. That is my thoughts, professionally speaking. However, the market moves in waves, so it's most likely that we could see something like most likely we could see something like this movement. Just a minute, I get something. We could see something that moves like this, takes like this, returns this way. Okay, just a minute. Okay, moves in this pathway, returns back here, goes up this way, right? So this is what is most likely going to be happening. However, it won't happen in a hurry, right? So you are safer buying than selling. That's the bottom line. If anything is going to happen for selling, it will happen here. Okay, so that is on USDJPY. All right, so that is what we're looking at. In case if you are thinking of participating in this trade, that is what it is. Now let's look at Bitcoin and see what Bitcoin is doing. All right, I'll just do a couple of analysis right now. Then we'll see how the market plays out. Okay, so let's look at Bitcoin. Where's Bitcoin now? Bitcoin, where are you? Oh, cryptocurrency. Okay, let me get Bitcoin from the this thing. Just be patient with me, okay? Let's look at Bitcoin USD. All right, good. Now, Bitcoin has been quite bearish. You know, Bitcoin has been quite bearish. Let's take off all the levels and everything. You know what I'm talking about. Let's take it up and see what Bitcoin has in store today. Okay. So, looking at Bitcoin, let's go to the daily time frame. In the daily time frame, Bitcoin has been bearish. You know, even though we know that overall Bitcoin is bullish. When you go to the weekly, let's look at the weekly. This is a weekly time frame here, right? And this is a bullish time frame. Okay, so looking at the Bitcoin from the weekly time frame, we are purely bullish. All right, we're making higher lows, and that tells us that this market has a probability of getting to $140,000, okay, per Bitcoin. But that will happen in months to come. Okay, but let's look at this critically. So weekly time frame tells us that we are up, but we are not going to buy because we're in the weekly. All right, so let's go to the daily time frame now. In the daily time frame, let me see. In the daily time frame, we are bearish. So one time frame is saying buy, another time frame is saying sell. So what do we do? Now, if you are a scalper or a day trader, you are going to be paying attention to the present and the current time frame. Even though we are looking at it from the higher time frame, and we're trying to understand multiple time frame analysis, decisions will be made from the current time frame, not from the other time frame. We can only change our bias the moment all the time frame aligns, and that's the best time to take trades. That's why we tell traders you need to be very, very patient. You need to wait. Just like the Bible says, wait upon the Lord, and He will renew your strength. If you can wait in the charts to give you the right setup, you will have a lot of financial strength. Do you understand? So waiting is key. In fact, 90% of your job as a trader is waiting. If you cannot wait, you're likely going to waste. You waste money when you don't wait, because the market is not controlled by you, it's controlled by the market makers. All right, $1 million can't push anything here. But when somebody trades $1 billion, the market moves. You trade 10 billion US dollars, the market can move. So if you don't have that kind of money, you're not the market mover. You are simply the market reactor. You are reacting to the market. You can't predict the market. Even though the market has structural moves, you go, higher high, higher lows. Yeah, you can be able to do that yourself. All right, let's go away from that right now. Okay, now let's look at Bitcoin. How I encourage people to look at the market. Look at the market holistically. Look at the market with an open mind. Look at the market, with a holistic concept. Because if you use SMC, smart money concept, it's good. But sometimes the smart money concepts can fail. Why would they fail? Because they have weaknesses. All right, break of structure, right? And after break of structure, it came back and retested. They have weaknesses. So you combine multiple concepts, because anytime market is reacting as a result of a concept. That's why the success of your success in trading and in any business at all, in any profession, is dependent on the quality of knowledge you have. If you have knowledge, okay, quality knowledge, you are going to do well, notwithstanding, So that's why your first biggest investment is not to fund your account. Anybody telling you go and fund your account is telling you something very wrong. Don't fund any account if you don't have the knowledge. If you lack the education and you are funding your account, you are not doing the right thing. Even though it may look like, oh, I need to know, I need to get the psychological part of the market. No, the market is not a place for psychological thrills. It's pure business. You know what I'm talking about? It's pure business. The participants in this business, they are worth billions of dollars. Some companies trade with millions of dollars on a daily basis. So it's not a place you come to play around. You need to know it. You need to be educated. You need to, acquire the skill set, right? Okay, away from that. Let's analyze this chart now. Okay, good. Now let's look at this. We have this. We have confirmed that, daily time frame is down, right? However, let's note something, that this is a strong demand zone. I don't know if you notice this, right? You don't notice it is demand zone? Yeah, very strong demand zone. The last point where the market took off from. So we are likely going to be seeing Bitcoin taking off from here. I don't know about other cryptocurrencies, but I know that when we look at this market, Bitcoin is in a strong daily demand zone. Right? I hope you're getting some value from this video. Okay, look at it. It's also in a weekly demand zone. It has reacted to the weekly zone. So by next week, we're going to see Bitcoin running to the upside. It's very likely. I'm not saying it will happen, but it is very likely. Because when prices come to a demand zone, the best they can do is to rally up to the upside. However, if the market participants change their mind, they can push down the price to this zone. All right. So you can use the Fibonacci to know what the retracement will look like. If you are someone that uses Fibonacci tools, right? I don't use Fibonacci because I have the levels already. They react to levels. Well, Fibonacci can be a predictive tool, but sometimes, once you think it's going to come to 0.5 level, it pushes down to 0.387 or pushes, so sometimes it can be subjective. But these levels are not. They are seen by everybody all over the world. And these are the levels that this market reacts to. Are you seeing it now? This is very simple, right? It's not rocket science. You just need to understand how the market works. It's top-down analysis, okay? All right, let's quickly go. So we have Bitcoin at 107.697, and it's a very strong zone in the weekly. It's also a very strong zone in the daily. However, today is Friday. Market can be a little sluggish, even though we have a very good move in gold. But let's see what is likely to happen today and going forward. So this is a supply zone there. So the market is between supply and demand. So what do you think? What do you think? It moved from demand, it came to supply. Do you think it will break out this supply zone and go to the upside? Answer is no. Answer is what? Capital no. You must think, technically. The market moves in technical form. It does not move in grammatical form. All right? Technical analysis is not grammatical analysis. You know what I'm talking about. So if you're a good grammarian, you need to change your thinking to technical department of this university. I'm just kidding. Okay. All right. So let's go now. All right. Now, let me say this at this juncture. One of the things that makes people stay too long in the learning curve when it comes to trading, it's simply, as a result of who has been responsible for this for impacting the knowledge of trading to them. Because I have been around the trading environment for a little while now, just some few years, and I've been able to come in contact with a lot of people who share their knowledge of trading. They share their knowledge, but the problem is that when they finish sharing knowledge about trading, it's difficult for a lot of people to understand. Why? Because not everybody is built to teach concepts and for other people to understand. Knowing is one thing, teaching is another thing. Some people are not designed to train, they're not designed to teach because there is a grace, there is an unction, there is an anointing that is responsible for teaching. We call it the teaching anointing, right? And how do you know someone has a teaching anointing? The person teaches with clarity, with high level of crystal understanding. Okay, you have I've watched a lot of, forgive me to say, traders and trainers on YouTube, and I seem not to understand what they are saying. And I'm asking myself, why? Somebody talks as though he has hot potato in his mouth, and he's just like mumbling many things, and I'm asking myself, guy, I'm not understanding you, because the essence of teaching is to impart knowledge. Do you understand? So your journey will be shorter if you have a good teacher. You will learn this thing without stressing yourself, because when you don't learn it for years, you just conclude that this thing is a scam. Oh, come on, this thing is too hard. People are just wasting their money. They are not wasting money. Only those who don't know it are wasting money. So stick with me, right? Stick with me. I'm not just bringing knowledge. I'm bringing grace. I'm bringing power, right? Yeah, because there are forces that will make you not to understand this concept. They'll make you to get discouraged. They'll make you to fly away. They'll tell you have failed. You have wasted money. They say stop. They'll tell so many demonic entities. But follow me. We are going to get you the knowledge and we're going to cast out the devils. Are you understanding what I'm talking about? That's what it is. All right, so let's quickly go now. This is 4 hours, right? Let's go to 1 hour. Oh, sorry, this is daily. Don't worry. Don't mind. Let's go to 4 hours. Let me show you what happened today. And let me tell you where the price is coming to. Just educative. Please don't forget, I'm not telling you to trade my signals. I'm just helping you to understand the market. So make your decision by yourself. Are you following now? Okay, so Bitcoin came down to a very strong supply zone. It's going to be selling today. If Bitcoin is going to buy today, it will buy at this zone. 110.556. That is what I'm seeing. Don't forget that Bitcoin has started traveling, making higher highs, higher lows, which means we are likely to see a breakout to the upside in the coming week. This is going to happen here. This is what I'm seeing here. It will come here or here. It's likely to break the zone because it's going to grab liquidity. So it goes up this way. All right. So we're going to likely see this in the coming week. Retest this zone and take off. Okay, but let's not push it. Let's not push it. Let's just look at what is likely to happen today. It's already happening, but let's just get it into it. Bitcoin is pushing down. Okay, I don't want to go too fast, but let me show you. So we have supply zone there. You can see. I don't use trend lines because trend lines are subjective. Okay, I don't use price patterns because price patterns are also subjective. Okay, you can see touch 1, touch 2, touch 3, touch 4. It's good, but you can't make decisions in all of those touches. You'll be in trouble. Yeah, that's why I don't use trend lines. Okay, market structure is what I use, and I look at price action at the zones. Okay, so we have 1 hour. All right, we have a little resistance in the middle, but it doesn't matter. Demand and supply controls resistance and support. Okay, resistance can only resist as much as he wants to, but demand and supply controls the two. Are you there? So now let's tell you. See what I say now, okay? We have price coming to this zone. Okay, we have price coming to this zone. It's irrelevant. We know it's a supply zone, demand zone, I beg your pardon. We know it's making a lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. The last lower low was at this juncture. Look at it here. So what do I see? Watch. I see that Bitcoin is coming down from here. The best place to have taken this trade is from here. All right. This is very key because if you want to take a sell trade, you must wait for the trade to come to supply. Don't take a trade to sell at demand. Don't do it. It could break out, we know, but it's probability. In fact, it's an assumption. However, permit you to do this today because I feel that the market is going to move momentum in the next few minutes to this level. Okay, so I put the stop loss around the zone here, the previous high. Then our TP is going to be at the zone. So watch out how this is going to pan out. Okay, the risk to reward is crazy now. I'm seeing 12 to 7.7 risk to reward ratio. That's crazy now. No, that's not correct. That's too much for this range. All right, so let's go. Put it here. That's I saw 12. Okay, right now Bitcoin is pushing down, like I said. All right, so we're expecting it to come to the zone. 1:2 risk to reward ratio. Here we go. The volumes are coming in. The banks and the institutional traders are already in the market. And when they're in the market moves. Okay, so Bitcoin is for a sell, ladies and gentlemen. That's educational for you. I'm not asking you to trade this. Don't forget, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not advising you to spend your money on this trade. I'm just helping you to learn more. And after all, you're not paying me for this, all right? I'm doing it out of free will. Okay? However, you know what I'm talking about. So go ahead and make your choice. I wish you all the best. So we're taking the take profit at 110,608. So I possibly will be back. All right, we're already in profit. It's pushing down. If I give this trade like 1 hour, we're going to get here because the momentum is here. It has broken this structure, which is a demand zone. It retested it and was rejected, which the demand turned to supply. It has pushed down with a pin bar, showing that there's momentum in the market. Now, the market is going to be pushing down freely. It's going to be a free fall. Yeah, we have little resistance here, but we don't mind it. Don't forget, resistance can resist, but demand will demand that the resistance should behave well. So this is little resistance here. Yeah. So if you want to take TP1, you can say, okay, TP1 here. Are you getting the point? You can say TP1 here if you like. All right, but if you understand this market, you don't need to do TP1. Just let it to run down to demand zone. This market can never stop until it falls here. Market moves from demand to supply. How do you know demand? Of course, that's where knowledge comes from. Look at these big boxes up. This is supply. Look at this big one down. This is demand. Eh? Look at the ones in between. This is resistance and support. So you can see the way the market is dancing around the around the resistance and support. It used to scare you away. If you don't know the difference between the two, you will just come to the market, you see the price just dangling. Why is market participant moving it like this? They want you to be afraid and get out of the market because they believe you don't understand trading psychology. And that is what you need to learn, trading psychology. The market will never move straight, never. Why does it not move straight? It will scare you away. When you are scared, it will move. All right. Okay, that's what we have for Bitcoin. Okay. So, but it is also probable that Bitcoin may come to this level today. Yes, I'm telling you, because there could be a deep retracement to some of these zones I'm marking up to the left. But we don't want to, predict or forecast this, price beyond what is feasible because anything can happen. So now Bitcoin is selling. Bitcoin is pushing down. We're already in profit. All right. We are already in profit. We are already in profit. This is good. And this is good news. Like I told you, look at it. It's pushing down. This is professionalism, right? Because when you understand the market, you can read the market. It's not the sporadicness of the movement does not mean it does not have structure. It does. You don't trade every candle you see. You trade market movement. Do you understand that? So that's why you need to learn. So if you think you want to learn on your own, how to fish, you can stay with this channel. You will learn. I break down the markets from time to time. All right. I teach about concepts. I show you market direction, right? And you understand this faster than ever. You can see there's no indicator on this chart. There's no moving average. There's no RSI. There's no Bollinger Bands. We don't need those things. The market does not move by moving average. Moving average is it's reactive. It's not predictive. But you see, all of these things we have here tells us exactly what's up. Okay, so that will be all. So we're going to be having some reactions at these levels, but that doesn't mean the market is going to change direction. Never. It will not change direction until it comes to demand. All right, or until the market structure changes. So that is where we are for now. So Bitcoin, it is what it is. Okay. So we'll be ending the stream here. We'll come back again with other stuff. So you can quickly like, share, comment, click the notification button. Once I drop a video like this, you can be able to know when the video is dropped and you can check it in, right? So again, you can also join our Telegram channel. Check us on Facebook. We're on Telegram, on Discord. You will see it, I think, Trading Masters FX, right? You will see it on Telegram. So we drop signals there, just educational purposes too, not for financial advice. Is that okay? All right, guys, we'll be shutting down this for now. Wish you all the best.